This is a wonderful example of the technological innovations that we see from the medieval period. Hi, I'm Tara Desjardins. I'm the curator of this gallery dedicated to arms and armor. This is a wonderful gallery that highlights the many spectacular pieces we have in the collection at the Museum of Islamic Art, dedicated to the role that arms and armor play within Islamic culture. Islam spread at a very quick pace from the 7th century onwards, spreading over a vast geographical area, from Spain in the west all the way to India in the east. In the early 16th century, it gave rise to 3 great empires that became known as the gunpowder empires of the early modern period: Ottomans, the Safavids, and the Mughals in India. Here, what we have is an incredible example of an Ottoman horse armor that actually dates to the 1550s. It's one of 17 known pieces in the world. What makes this piece so unique is the fact that it is complete, but it also is a wonderful example of the technological innovations that we see from the early medieval period. The armor is actually composed of several pieces of steel plaques. This was invented in the Indian or Turkish dynasties at the time, really to help ease the weight of the rider on horseback. And essentially, they allow for greater movement and flexibility of the rider and of the horse itself. They also had a dual function, and that was to try and break up the enormous weight of the chainmail. Now, chainmail was something that all warriors of a certain status wore in battle. It's essentially composed of multiple small rings that are riveted together. But because it's exceedingly heavy, it was essential to break up the weight that then became very popular across the Ottoman and the Mughal territories. What you see in the example behind me is a complete set, because in one hand, he's holding a shield, and in the other, he's holding a mace. One other unique point about the armor is the fact that he's wearing a turban helmet. Now, this type of helmet is given its shape because of the unique type of headgear that you'll find at the Ottoman court. As you can see, it's spiral in shape, and the shape of it was meant to actually fit his turban. But what makes it also special is the fact that each element bears a stamp of Saint Irene. This is the imperial mark of the Ottoman arsenal. Every piece of weaponry, either taken as booty or given, was stored actually in Istanbul. The mark itself dates to the Byzantine period, but as what was formerly known as Constantinople was sacked by the Ottomans in 1453, they took a former church, Saint Irene, as the place to store all of their equipment. We don't know exactly who it was made for. There are no inscriptions or marks other than the Saint Irene stamp. However, being able to wear a complete set like this would have been costly to manufacture. A lot of pieces end up becoming dispersed, broken apart, remelted, reworked into something else. Oftentimes with arms and armor in particular, you'll have composite pieces. What that means is that you'll have one piece dating from one period and then another added from often a later period. Most of it actually dates to around the same period. This makes it unique, but also a wonderful example of what we believe a cavalry officer would have worn at the time. To have a piece like this and to be able to display it in its full context here in the gallery dedicated entirely to arms and armor is a real pleasure.